lost it. I 100% lost it. Okay. Hello, and thank you for bearing with me as I figure out my camera angles. I don't know what's going on. I'm just playing around, so who knows? Every episode might be a slightly different angle. I did a good job last season, but this season is like, I don't know what's going on. So it's the astrology. The stars are making it impossible for consistency. I'll try to get better as I go, but the good news is I found a little thingy for my tripod, so I'm not using the gimbal anymore, which is great. Okay, all that being said, today, welcome to my Brooklyn kitchen. Today we are going to make fondue. So earlier I made some broccoli yesterday and today I'm going to make some fondue sauce that you could dip your broccoli in. You could dip bread in it. You could dip cherry tomatoes in it, although I don't love that. But if that's what you love, great. And yeah, we're working with this lovely cheese that I got at the farmer's market.
Farmer's market time. Go down to the farmer's market to see what we can find.
So we have our grated cheese, and now we can, I don't know the order of events. I didn't do that much research. I just looked a recipe and a half. No, really I looked at one recipe that I saw online and was like, oh yeah, right. So most recipes like have multiple cheeses and they're different than this. This is like super simplified version. So I'm trying to remember if I should put the cheese and the cornstarch together into the pot and then add the wine. But actually I'm realizing that I'm gonna put the cheese and the cornstarch together in a bowl. And then I'm gonna put the wine in the pot and kind of reduce the wine a little bit so it's not so liquidy. So the cornstarch helps everything stay together and stay like basically emulsified. I'm just gonna, I don't know how much to add, this amount of cheese. I'm going to add like a tablespoon. And I'm going to sprinkle it over top of the cheese and kind of like toss it around and get like so that the cornstarch coats all the little pieces of cheese. All these little bits of broken cheese. And see, now it's like they're all coated. Now it looks so good that my head is saying like add more, but I actually don't think so. I think like was very perfect, so I'll just leave it at that. It's like it looks so good that I should ruin it, you know? That happens a lot. So just don't ruin it. Okay, good. I don't know, maybe you want a bit more close up. There you go. Oops, oh, I'm so dumb. Oh my God. It's okay. Just doing silly activities. I don't think any spilled on the floor. Okay. Put this to the side. Now we're gonna open up our wine. This is a beautiful Chablis It's actually probably a bit like, this is like a $40 bottle of wine that I am using to cook with, but with fondue especially, you want a wine that you, well, as they always say, you want a wine that you like, because if it's like a stinky wine that you don't like, then you're not gonna like the flavor of the wine in the thing that you made. So also I'm gonna drink some of this right now. The funny thing is, when I went to the store, I actually saw another wine from the same region that was half the price, but 2 years older in vintage, and like, I think from a, maybe not from a better region, but like, I don't know. I was just like, I gotta deal with that one. Like, that one I'm gonna let sit for a while. This one I'm opening right away. Okay, so this is a cup of wine. I'm putting it in this pot, and then I'm gonna put it on the stove. And I'm gonna pour myself a glass of wine. Happy Thursday, everybody. Yum. Okay, it's yummy. The wine is good. Okay. Okay, heat your wine up and let it reduce by 1/3. Okay, well, since we're waiting for some... Okay, there we go. This is better. Do you need to see all of this countertop? I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna shoot this. Okay, anyway. This is Chablis. Chablis is a French wine. Chablis is the name of the region, and it's in Burgundy, which is in France. And Chablis is made of Chardonnay. And so when you're drinking Chablis, you're drinking Chardonnay. Chablis is often vinified in stainless steel, or very, very old and heavily used, or used for many vintages, oak. Huge things, but most of the time it's stainless steel. That's where the grapes ferment, and that actually brings a certain character to the wine. The wine that I mentioned earlier is from a different region in Burgundy, where they very likely would age the wine in oak afterwards. Most likely it would be not new oak, but kind of new oak. So it's going to have a different flavor, even though they're both from Burgundy and they're made of the same grape. You're going to have two different flavors. So what's good about using Chablis for fondue is it has like still a really like bright, fruity, clean taste. It also has like a little bit of a yeasty taste oftentimes. And so all those things go really well with cheese, and they like match with the bread, they match. The oakiness is nice, but I just prefer like a cleaner wine to make fondue with. That's just my opinion. You can use the other one. There's nothing wrong with using the other one. It's just between the two. I'd rather just drink the other one and cook with this one. Okay, so our wine, first of all, smells great. This is like taking me back to the days of boiling wine. This is pretty much reduced by a third. And so now it's ready for the cheese. I'm bringing this pot over here, oopsie, because when you add the cheese, the wine should be hot enough to melt the cheese, but not boiling, because you don't want the cheese to break. And what I mean by break is cheese is actually, you know, as you know, fat and protein. And so if you heat it up too much, the fat can separate from the proteins. And that makes things weird. Then things get really weird, and we don't like when things get weird. So I'm gonna add our little cheesy cornstarch mixture in here, and I'm going to whisk it with this whisk that I grabbed, but now I don't know where it is. Here it is. Ow. Oh, that's right. Okay. Adding the cheese into the hot wine. I think I'm just gonna add it all at once, just like boom. And mixy mixy. Oh, this might be too liquidy. This might be a fucked up one, you guys. I may have fucked it up. Should have reduced it more, I think. You guys, this is a fail. So glad we're here together. First fail, baby's first fail. Let's see, maybe it won't. I'm whisking. It's not looking good. Okay, I'm thinking that this is a little bit too loose, but hopefully as I stir and as the cheese melts, it tightens up a little bit. I'm just gonna keep like whisking, and I may have to I hate to say it, put it back on the heat, but that seems very like a bad idea. Okay. It's at this point when you assess what is the problem here, first of all, because if you don't know what the problem is and you start throwing a bunch of solutions, you could fuck it up even more before you even find out what the original problem is. So what I'm noticing is it's not a homogeneous mass. One, it's too watery, okay? So I could have overpowered I should have reduced it more. I put too much wine for the amount of cheese I had. The cheese is melting, but it's like some of the fat is coming out of the cheese. Not good. That's what I was just saying. But luckily we have that little bit of cornstarch in there. The thing about cornstarch is you have to bring cornstarch to a boil, or like close to a boil, and then cool it down for it to activate. So what I'm wondering here is, one, how broken, like, is the cheese really broken? Two, that's actually the main thing. How broken is the cheese? Because if you add heat to broken cheese, it just makes everything worse. But if it's already broken, there's not really anything you can do. So, what I think I'm gonna do, just to try to fix this, and try to activate the cornstarch, which would kind of hopefully like emulsify everything. Because the cheese doesn't seem that broken, it just seems like a little bit broken. I'm gonna put this on the heat, but on very, very low, and I'm gonna watch it really closely. So let's go to the stove and see if I can fix this. And this is why we have the wine today, I guess. Okay. Okay, this is a weird angle. Okay, see that little bit of oil here on the top? That's not good. See how it's like kind of crumbly around here? That's also not good. It was too much acidity from the wine. But hopefully if I heat this up very slowly and slightly and I continue whisking, it will re-emulsify, but I'm not hopeful. Okay. Make sure you keep, like, you touch the mixture often, because you really don't want it to get too hot. Yeah. Unfortunately, this is garbage. Wow, everyone, we knew the day would come. I was waiting for this. Damage report. Okay, first of all, when you fuck something up and you try like one thing to fix it, that's it. Like, don't keep going. You just like start a new one, because it's not going to fix itself. You can't uncook something. So that's that. So this is, look at this. Okay, first of all, here's everything. Just way too watery, chunks of cheese, the cheese separated, everything was bad. How to avoid this? This, I swear, it was my like first like 3 tablespoons of wine today, so that has nothing to do with that. How to avoid this? 1, okay, if I had like double the amount of cheese for the amount of wine that I had, that would probably have been okay. 2, I'm not 100% sure on the cornstarch. I like read that in a recipe, and now I'm kind of like, I don't know if that did anything, because like I said, the cornstarch has to come to a boil before it can do any thickening. So I'm like, was that really necessary? The wine may have been a bit too hot when I added the cheese. However, the main problem was I had way too much wine for the amount of cheese that I had. So when I said reduce it by a third, it's what I meant, but what I should have said is like reduce it by 2/3. Like I just got it wrong. And I think that was the problem. Those were all the problems. But, you know, honestly, unfortunately, this is going to have to go into down the sink. That's how watery it is. But, and I'm happy actually that I was snacking on that cheese before this episode because it was such a good cheese. So sad to see it go to waste, but mistakes happen in the kitchen, and it's not a huge deal. They're going to be happy that you're going to buy another block of cheese next week to make the new recipe, so don't worry about that. Like in terms of food waste, which I'm very passionate about, as we all know, making a mistake in the kitchen is not food waste. That's just well, that's just you cooking, as Chef John says. Shout out. So yeah, mistakes happen in the kitchen. Try to learn from them. It's always nice to be drinking a $40 bottle of wine when a mistake happens, and I'm kind of bummed, but we'll do another, maybe more thoughtful fondue recipe in the future. You know, you can't win them all.